I think the impact of our discovery will certainly affect people that are interested in generating blood cells. There's an incredible need clinically to generate red blood cells and also other cells called megakaryocytes that generate platelets that help clotting of blood. But I think it also will expand people's ideas that skin cells could be directly turned into other cell types. And specifically our lab and others are interested in cells of the brain neural lineages. I think the next steps for us are really going to be focusing on the blood cells. We see an incredible need to transplant these into patients. So what we want to know is how many can we really generate? We haven't truly tweaked the system and optimized it right now. We want to try to get greater numbers. We want to see if we can freeze thaw them so we can put them in storage so when they're needed by patients they're ready. And then we'll also be doing some mechanistic studies, really trying to understand exactly how these cells convert from skin over to blood in hopes that we can improve this process in the future. Now, the clinical question is certainly something we're very interested in. We want to apply our work. It's focused on human cells, of course. I think certainly for blood production from skin, I could see this going to the clinic a little bit earlier than anything you'd see from either human embryonic stem cells or these newly created induced skin pluripotent stem cells. And the reason is really simple, is that we think our process is quicker, but also it makes the right types of blood cells. It makes adult blood and not more fetal or embryonic blood that normally you would see traditionally from embryonic stem cells or induced pluripotent stem cells. So certainly there's a need out there. We don't envision many obstacles. It's always hard to predict exactly when we'll head to the clinic, but that is our direct aim right now. We'll be focusing on that with several groups around the world. So certainly we don't know exactly when it'll go into the clinic, but I see the first sets of patients being patients that are suffering from leukemia. That's when their blood system has sort of become cancerous. Us being able to take skin cells and convert them to healthy blood, specifically adult blood, would provide a great substitute product to hopefully outcompete those leukemic cells. But more importantly, I could also see the blood product be used for anyone undergoing cancer therapy. Unfortunately, a lot of the chemotherapy affects the blood system because it grows, so even though it's tackling or targeting a solid tumor, the patient usually has to withdraw the amount of chemotherapy or radiation they're receiving because their blood system dies as an innocent bystander. We hope our technology will provide an alternative blood source from their own skin cells that's healthy that could allow them to continue the therapy and hopefully eradicate the solid tumor. So our initial observation that we started to see blood cells coming out of adult skin was made actually a few years ago. And we probably wouldn't be able to capitalize on it if it wasn't for the de Groot institution that we've made with the Stem Cell Institute here, and also some great funding that we've received from the David Braley, a donor here locally, that's allowed us to really take these kinds of observations and go to the next step and the next step. The work that we're talking about today was funded by a lot of other agencies, but the infrastructure allowing us to really define exactly how we got these blood cells from adult skin wouldn't have come to fruition if it wasn't for our great supporters locally.